Imagine if your textbook wasn't just a book. What if it was a conversation? We're about to dive into a project that's doing exactly that. It's turning the static page into a dynamic learning partner, completely reimagining what education can be in a world where AI is everywhere.
And that really forces us to ask a pretty serious question. I mean, think about the last textbook you used. Was it really an active partner in your learning? Or was it just kind of a monologue of facts on a page? Are these tools we're using actually built for the world we live in right now?
And that right there is the core challenge. There's this massive gap between our static, old-school learning materials and the super dynamic, AI-driven world that students are walking into. The tools we use to learn have to be just as smart and responsive as the future they're supposed to be preparing us for.
So what does a solution even look like? Well, it starts with a brand new kind of textbook, in this case for a course on physical AI and humanoid robotics. But this is so much more than just a digital book. It's a whole new learning environment, built from the ground up for the way students actually learn today.
The big idea here is so simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. What if you could actually talk to your textbook? Ask it questions, get it to explain things that are confusing, and literally watch it adapt to how you learn best. What if your textbook finally talked back? At the very heart of this thing is its most revolutionary feature. You can chat directly with your coursework. Just imagine never being stuck on a difficult paragraph ever again. From now on, you can just ask for help.
So how does this work? It's powered by a technology called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. The absolute best way to think about it is like having an expert who has memorized every single word of the textbook. The AI can't just make stuff up because it's grounded. It can only pull information that's directly from your course material. No more random, made-up answers.
For you, the student, the whole process is seamless. You just ask a question, something like, what hardware do I need for Isaac Sim? The AI instantly scans the entire book for anything relevant, and then it gives you a clear, accurate answer based only on what the book says. No guesswork, no fluff, just the facts.
And hey, this isn't just a cool idea. It's powered by some seriously impressive and super efficient tech. It runs on Gemini Flash, which means it's basically free to operate. A Qdrant database acts as its lightning-fast memory for finding info in a snap, and the OpenAI SDK is the glue that ties it all together.
But this goes way, way beyond just answering your questions. This is where the textbook transforms into a genuine personal tutor, one that can adapt the entire learning experience directly to you.
Okay, this is where the magic really happens. Look at this. On one side, you've got a complex robotics concept, packed with PhD-level jargon. But with a single click, poof, the text completely transforms. It's the exact same information, but now it's explained in simple, easy-to-understand language. The content adapts to you, not the other way around. How cool is that?
The whole point is to break down barriers to learning. Besides changing the complexity, the content can be instantly translated into other languages, like Urdu, for instance, all thanks to a backend hosted on Brussels. So when you put it all together, personalization, translation, and instant answers, you get a learning tool that's truly accessible for anyone, anywhere.
So, what does it actually take to build the classroom of the future? Let's pop the hood for a second and take a look at the tech and the philosophy that brings this whole thing to life.
The tech stack here is a really clever mix of powerful tools. Think of Docusaurus as the clean, friendly interface that you actually see and use. FastAPI is the powerful brain in the background, handling all the heavy lifting. We already mentioned Qdrant. That's the super fast memory. And Gemini is the AI engine that actually powers the whole conversation. Each piece was picked for a very specific, very important job.
But what they built is only half the story. How they built it is just as important. This wasn't just coded on the fly. The whole thing was built using a spec-driven methodology. That basically means the entire blueprint was planned out and formalized before they wrote a single line of code. That kind of careful planning is what makes the final product so solid and reliable.
So the result of all this smart tech and careful planning isn't just a collection of cool features. It's one single, totally integrated platform where every single part works together to create a fundamentally better way to learn.
And this all brings us to one last, really powerful thought. This was built for one robotics course, but just imagine the potential here. What if this technology was applied to every subject? What if every single book in the world could become a personal tutor, ready to guide any student, anywhere, at any time. That is the future of education this project is showing us is possible.